Welcome back. Welcome to the Boxing Bookie. It's good to be back. Guys. Roll on in. Got some big news for you guys this week. It's good to have everyone back. I'm going to get started in just a second. It's good to have everyone here. Wanted to address last week, obviously. The last 2 weeks we've missed. It's the first time since I started doing this, I've missed on my lock of the week 2 weeks in a row. I don't plan on making a habit out of it. I'm going to correct this for you guys. I got some good bets for you out already. If y'all head on over to the channel, the YouTube channel, I already put out the Prograis tape. I'm going to get Campbell Hatton and James Flint out tonight. I'm going to get that out for y'all. I'm going to correct this. A couple of my Patreons is left, and it's certainly understandable. I get it. It's understandable. I've never had a stretch where I've missed 2 weeks in a row. Before that, I hit 11 weeks out of 12. That's more my speed. That's more my style. This didn't go well. This didn't go well the last 2 weeks, and I feel bad about that. I don't ever want to cost anyone money. It's part of the game. I understand that, but I don't miss. I call myself the best in the world at this, and I truly believe in my heart that I am. I think the evidence supports that I'm the best in the world at this, and it's a 2 week slump. I'm not making any excuses. You take the good with the good, you take the bad with the bad, and you just get better. And I think this is definitely a week that we can get better. I want to take a look at the Jack Catterall and Regis Prograis card tonight. That's something I want to take a look at. I think this is a good card. Yo, my man, Rocket's in the building. What up, Rocket? It's good. Thank you for the super chat, my man. I want to get into this. I want to get you guys your money back. Because the last 2 weeks have not been good. I feel terrible about the last 2 weeks. This is not my intention, and it's cool. And I just want you guys to know I'm gonna set up the Discord. I've been talking about this. I want to be in communication with you guys. I want to help you guys with live betting. I just want to set some more things up. And I want everyone to bring down the house. I want everyone to get rich betting boxing. I want everyone to make a second income betting. But whatever your goal is within betting boxing, I want you guys to get there. And I know the last 2 weeks have been a hiccup. It's been a roadblock. But I appreciate the support from my man Rocket. Of course, I appreciate the support from everyone. Junior Smile in the house. It says Kamzat and Tapira parlay plus 105 this Saturday UFC. I'll try to get back on with World of Wrestling. It's just been a frustrating 2 weeks for me, but we're going to get it all back and some. Let's start with this week. I really, really, really like this card. Look, I don't know if you guys got to watch the video, but let's get into it. There's only one fight up. I want to take a look at this now. Well, there's 2 fights up. Hang on. All right. Hang on. Give me 1 second. I just want to check something real quick. Yeah, okay. I thought so. All right. Let's take a look at this card. So I'm working on the James Flint and Campbell Hatton video tonight. We don't have any props on this. I'm going to get into this later today. I'll have this on for you guys on the show tomorrow. This is a very difficult fight. The first fight was very close. I thought Flint won. I thought Campbell Hatton came on. This is a difficult fight. At plus 125, Flint's interesting. at minus 160. I think Campbell Hatton might be too wide here, but I think a lot of people are going to bet on him. This may be an interesting bet. I want to go back and I want to watch some more tape on other fights, not just the Flint Hatton fight. I want to look at more tape on that. I want to reach other conclusions on this. I want and research other things before I go official with my bet on that. Now, what I like in this other fight, what I have in the big fight, Catterall and Regis. This is an interesting fight. There's a couple of bets that I like here, and neither of them really on the money line. I'm leaning towards Catterall slightly in this fight. I think this is a little bit too wide, but it's also not wide enough to make me bet on Prograis. I always say if you're over 300, just take the guy. If this was 350, I'd probably take Prograis. It's right at 300. The reason why I say take him if anyone's over plus 300 is because they're 50-50 fights. You only have to hit 1 out of 4 to make money. If you hit 1 out of 4 50-50 fights at over plus 300, you make money. And I do think this is a 50-50 kind of fight. And I'm going to get into why. But he's right at plus 300. If this gets wider, it may be worth betting on Prograis. Here's a bet I like a lot. Prograis by decision plus 850. I love this bet. I would not make my normal size bet on this. I don't think I give this about a 40% chance of hitting. A 40% chance of hitting at plus 850 is a tremendous odds. I would say there's probably a 55 to 60% chance this hits. Okay, that's fair. And then a 40% chance that this hits. Like these are the two things that I think are most likely going to happen. One's at minus 185 and the other's at plus 850. Take the plus 850. Now there are props that I like in this fight. The over 10.5 I absolutely love. Take the over, guys. Hang on one second. I'm gonna try to have World of Wrestling back on and talk about those UFC parlays. I'm definitely gonna get to that. What do you guys think of Paro versus Richardson Hitchens in a few weeks? Preliminarily, and I'll do a video on this for sure. Preliminarily, I love Hitchens in that fight. I think Hitchens is a much better boxer, but he doesn't like pressure. So there's a couple of things on the tape I want to go look at. I'm leaning towards Hitchens. I think Hitchens is a much classier fighter. I think he can outbox him, but he's not done great with pressure. So I want to look at that under a much closer lens. What's up, Assad? I told you guys. Bengay. I was leaning towards Bengay, and I told y'all to bet the over, bet the fight to go the distance, That fight was absolutely going to go the distance. Neither guy was getting knocked out. The odds weren't terrible on it. And I was leaning towards Bengay, who was a slight underdog. I thought that was a pretty good fight to make money on. I think this is a decent fight to make money on. I think at over 10.5, and the fight props, does the fight go the distance? Yes. I think those are really sexy bets. Minus 425 and plus 330. I think these are very good bets. I think this fight definitely goes the distance. I think it definitely goes over. I would look to bet one of those things. And again, I would look at Regis Prograis by decision. Regis Prograis by decision at plus 850, I think is a tremendous bet. I think this is like great value here. Does it hit? I don't know. But if it does, it's paying plus 850. And I said like there's a pretty decent chance Regis Prograis wins by decision. Now, how does he win by decision? Jack Catterall is a guy that likes to keep the fight at distance. He doesn't really have any power. Regis Prograis is going to press, and try to get the fight on the inside. Now, he is aged, and he is slow, and he's not as good as he once was. But he is still good enough and fast enough to get the fight on the inside. He can get the fight on the inside, and now he's got to work. He's got to work. Regis Prograis got good power. We've seen him do big things with it, but we haven't seen him get a lot of knockouts. I don't think he's going to live on the inside. He couldn't live on the inside against Taylor, and he actually had to outbox Taylor from the outside, which he was able to do. Regis Prograis is as good or better than Taylor. That's why most people thought he beat Taylor. Taylor has slowed down, so has Prograis. So they're both shells of what they were in that famous 2019 fight, which was one of the fights of the year in 2019. But Prograis winning that fight and taking it on the inside, outworking him, out hustling him. Catterall doesn't really have the power to keep Prograis or anyone off of him over 12 rounds. I'm not saying Catterall is feather-fisted, but we've seen bigger hitters not be able to keep Prograis on the outside. I do think Prograis is able to get on the inside, and once he does, this becomes a very even fight. Prograis seems to have slowed down. His speed, you can see it's declining. Certain things are declining. I'm not saying he's a bum. I'm not saying he's washed at all. I think this is a 50-50 fight. I think people are overestimating Catterall just a little bit. I think people are underestimating Prograis. I know that Prograis has looked like trash his last two fights. In the win over Zaria and the loss to Devin Haney, where he got washed and lost to every round. It's not what people wanted to see. It wasn't a great look. Hitchin's underdog too. I know. Let me get to the tape on that fight. I will obviously have a video on that. We'll spend a lot of time on that fight. You're right, Gary, on Bengay. Yeah. McKinson is flawed. Bengay is too. I thought that was a pretty even fight. I was leaning towards Bengay when I saw the odds. I said, yeah, that's worth a bet. I think Bengay wins. I was like 55, 60% sure on that. Thought the odds, him as an underdog, made it worth it. Hitchens is Devin Haney's Olsen twin. Thank you, Junior Smile. Catterall by decision, I think, is a fair bet. It's not paying a terrible odds. It's minus 180. I guess I think there are two possible outcomes to this fight: Catterall by decision or Prograis by decision. I think this thing's definitely going the distance. I think to go the distance or the over is a tremendous bet. I think the over is safe. I don't see this fight ending early. Catterall doesn't knock anyone out. And look, we associate Regis Prograis as a big hitter. And I'm not saying it's wrong to do that. He's got 24 knockouts in his 29 wins. Okay. Oh, that's not what I wanted to share. Here's what I wanted to share. Here's the men's box rack. UD 12, UD split decision 12, KO 11, went over 10.5. And then knocked out McKenna in 6 and Red Cash in 6. So what I'm saying is when he fights better fighters, he goes the distance or close to it. It's just the McKennas and the Red Cash of the world who get knocked out in 6. Josh Taylor, 12. Terry Flanagan, 12. This is kind of the one I would look at. British style fighter, similar style, not as good as Catterall, went 12. That's a fight I would look at. Like, that's a fight I would kind of comp this to. I know that was a long time ago, but Flanagan, Turbo Terry Flanagan, it was a guy that looked at boxing from the outside. We just wanted to get on the inside against, and largely he was able to. He knocked him down and stuff. I don't think Regis is as good now as he was in 2018, obviously, but he still got enough to keep the fight, to keep the fight competitive throughout. He's not going to get knocked out by him. I don't think Prograis any threat of getting knocked out in the first 10 rounds or at all. So the only question is, does Regis knock out Catterall? And none of you guys think that. So this is why I like Prograis at plus 850 on the decision. I think there's a fairly decent chance. If you put a gun to my head, Gary, and said, Gary, who wins this fight? I'm going to take Catterall by decision. But at plus 850, I think there's a good enough shot, there's a good enough chance to throw a little money on Prograis that if it hits, you're paying plus 850. Just an idea, just a thought. Let me know what you guys think. As far as the rest of this card, I want to get into that real quick too. Jack Catterall, Regis Prograis, obviously the big one. Reese Bellotti, Michael Gomez. This is an interesting fight. I'm going to get into the videotape on this one. Then we have Pat McCormick taking up a pretty good challenge with Williams Andres Herrera from Argentina. We've seen him fight Patty Donovan. We've seen him fight, We've seen him fight before. Josh Wagner. The two fights. Decent fighter. Step up fight for Pat McCormick. I obviously should pass this. This shouldn't be too much of an issue for Pat McCormick. Why has Pat McCormick only had 5 fights? He hasn't fought in a year and change. What's up with Pat McCormick? All right, nevertheless. James Flint, Campbell Hatton, I'm going to have out for you today. The other two fights, Joe McGrail, Lewis Morris. I'll hopefully have a video on that. And then Junad Bastain and Maceo Maravilla are the two fights I'm looking to get videos out on too. So I want to have videos on all 6 of these fights. That's ultimately my goal. I think that we can do that. We also got Stephen Clark and William Crawler on the card. So it's a pretty good card, pretty good fights. I want to keep you guys updated. I want to keep you guys in the loop. Let me know if you guys have any questions, comments, thoughts, super chats, anything like that. There's not a whole lot to get into. There's not a whole lot of boxing this week, but I definitely think that we can make some money this week. I think that starts with Jack Catterall and Regis Prograis going the distance, going the over 10.5. I definitely think we can do that. We hit on that. We're in good shape. So I like the fight to go the distance. That's what I like. And, I think Catterall at minus 400 is just too wide. Like, if you're going to bet on Catterall taken by decision, I just think at minus 400, there's not enough juice to make that squeeze worth the risk, right? It's just, I don't see him a 4-1 favorite. I don't see Prograis a 3-1 dog. I think we're somewhere in between here. If I was making the book, I'd have it minus 250, minus 200. I'd have, Regis Prograis minus 160, plus 160. I don't see it like this. This is very, very wide. I know over there in the UK, they love to bet on their guy. And let him. I say let him. If you want to take Catterall at minus 400, I'm going to take your bet all day. All day, I'm going to take your bet. The over really, and for the fight to go the distance is really what it is to make money. Like that's the easy bet. Like if I said to you, what's more likely? The fight ends within the first 10 rounds or Catterall loses? You would say it's more likely Catterall loses because it's very unlikely this fight doesn't go the distance, right? So those odds are about the same. So take the over 10.5. It's much more likely Regis Prograis upsets Catterall than this fight ends in a knockout. Think about that. And that's how you got to calculate things. Guys, again, the last 2 weeks haven't gone well. And if you guys left, I understand. Makes perfect sense. I give you guys a lock of the week. You pay $5 a month without lock of the week and other stuff. I need to hit on it. I need to be better. And I will be. 2 weeks in a row after hitting 11 out of 12. Let's get back to hitting 11 out of 12. Let's get back to making money every single week. And that's my goal. Costa's doing now. Tim Tszyu was terrible. I had people telling me to stay away from Tim Tszyu. Should have listened to him. I thought Tim Tszyu would take that fight easily. I got to give you guys a lock of the week. I got to come up with something to get y'all money every week. And that's my goal. So I appreciate you guys staying with me. I appreciate the support. Let's get back on track. I'm going to try to give you guys as much money as possible. Come over, join the Patreon. Link is in the description. It's also in the little ticker below. I'm also putting it in the chat right now for y'all. I'm putting it in the chat. Catterall's in his prime, and I'm a Regis fan. Look, I'm not. Look, if you're putting a gun in my head, Junior Smile, I'm probably going to take Catterall to win a decision. What I'm saying is this fight's very, very close because Regis can get on the inside. Catterall doesn't have the power to keep him off of him. I think Regis can get on the inside and he can make it ugly for him. Is that enough to win the fight? We're going to find out. But I think the fight's very, very close. And if you can get plus 850 on Regis by stoppage, I think you should take it. Minus 275. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. What book is that? That's 100%. Yeah, no, I love that. If you can get that, absolutely. Parlay that with a couple of easy money parlays. That's it right there. That's the one right there that you want. I appreciate it, Junior Smile. I appreciate it. But let's just get back to our winning ways. If you guys have, if you can get this, do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Just make that bet any way you can. Yeah, you want to parlay with a couple of easy money hits? Do that. Yeah. Those are great odds. I liked it at minus 400, at minus 275. Absolutely. What book are you getting that from, Junior? Because no, I love that. That's really compelling. Just out of curiosity, in that book, what do you have Catterall by decision on? Catterall by decision. What do you got that on? James Ball's got some UFC bets too. So we're going to have a lot to bet on this week. We're going to have a lot of fights. I imagine they're going to minus 180 on Hard Rock. Rocket, what does Hard Rock have for Catterall? What does it have for the over? And what does it have for the fight to go the distance? What does it have on the over and for to go the distance? I'm curious. Guys, please smash the like button. Please smash the like button. And now is a good time too. Guys, please head over to carnivorebar.com. That's carnivorebar.com. Get the protein, get the nutrition of a steak with the convenience of a bar. I'm sorry, let me try that again. Get the nutrition of a steak with the convenience of a bar over at carnivorebar.com. That's carnivorebar.com. Use promo code BOXING at checkout. Use promo code BOXING at checkout to save 10% over at carnivorebar.com. On the move nutrition without compromise. All right, y'all. Again, right now, the only things we got up right there are James Flint versus Campbell Hatton in a rematch of what was a very sloppy but very entertaining fight between two B-level fighters, C-level fighters, however you want to do that. And Catterall and Prograis, which we broke down. I like the fight to go the distance. I would start betting on that. That's what I would look at. Minus 300 for the distance is a really good bet. Oshaki, this is how you know that first decision was completely bogus. Oshaki is going to win that fight. He's minus 450. He lost the first fight. How's he 4.5 to 1 favorite? Yo, look, Oshaki's my boy. I know him well. If you in my Patreon, my picture is me and him. So maybe I'm biased, but if you're telling me in a rematch he's minus 450, 4.5 to 1 favorite, you're telling me he won the first fight and the decision was completely bogus, right? Like that's what you're telling me. That's ridiculous. I don't disagree with that, but the fact that he lost the first fight, he lost, air quotes, lost the first fight, and now he's minus 450. He clearly didn't lose the first fight. He clearly won the first fight, right? Like, clearly. Vegas thinks he won. I think he won. I think y'all thought he won. Minus 450, and he lost the first fight. Interesting. Prograis plus 525 KO, decision plus 800. Bet both of them, Reed. Bet both of them, Rocket. Take the decision. It's really good. Junior's boss, I lost a lot on that fight. Yeah. Before the last 2 weeks, the last time I missed on one of my locks was the first week. It was that first fight back in July. So everything from that fight, which I was robbed on, we all know I was robbed, up until last week, I had hit every single lock of the week, 11 in a row. True story. It's all up there. You can look it all up. All right. All right, yeah. I'm finna wrap this up pretty soon. Unless you guys have any last minute questions, comments, thoughts, super chats. I'm completely dedicated to this channel, guys. I'm gonna bring you videos. The NBA season starts tomorrow. Y'all know that I'm an NBA junkie, and I want to be watching them games, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna bring y'all shows every day. I'm gonna get you your money back. I'm gonna give you all the content you need. I'm gonna get into these fights, guys. I'm going to answer your questions. I want to interact with you. I want to answer your questions. I want y'all to make money on these fights. If you guys have any last minute thoughts, comments, super chats, anything like that, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to head out, and I will be back tomorrow. I got a question, though. Does anyone think, even for a minute, that O'Shaquie Foster lost the first fight? Does anyone have that scorecard was absolutely egregious. Dodgers to win World Series. I would bet the house on that. I would bet the house on the Dodgers. Dodgers in 5. Robbery. Yeah, I thought so too, Rocket. I thought so too. I like this Junior smile. Dodgers at minus 125. Bet the house on that. Yeah, Dodgers will win the World Series. Easy money. Easy money. What are the Yankees at? What are the odds on the Yankees? Rob them blind. Rob them blind. Dodgers plus 400. When did you get Dodgers plus 400? Yankees plus 105 now. When did you get this? How long ago was that? Yeah, I wouldn't touch that. Yankees ain't winning this series. Yankees getting smoked. Yankees getting smoked. The Dodgers are scoring 10 runs a game. Ain't gonna lose. Ain't gonna lose. Here's what I wanted to share with Junior Smile. Hang on. Here's their series. 10 runs, 10 runs, 6 runs, 9 runs. Right? Yeah. And hey, hang on. Wait. This is not. That's not the playoffs. Hang on. Where do I find? I can't find playoffs. I can't find. They're scoring 10 runs a game. The Dodgers are scoring 10 runs a game. They're not going to lose. Better than the Dodgers. There you go. There you go. Money on the Ravens. I gotta go watch. I got football to watch too. Bovada lets you parlay as well. Dodgers are my favorite team. There you go. And they're gonna win the World Series. I say in 5. Oh, so you know how many. Here it is. Here it is. Look, here's the series. Game 1, 9-0. Game 2, they lost 7-3. Game 3, they scored 8 runs. Game 4, they scored 10 runs. Game 5, they scored 6 runs. Game 6, they scored 10 runs. That's 10, 26, 34, 37, 46. They're scoring 8 runs a game on average. Yeah, they're going to win, guys. All right, y'all. I'm going to wrap this up. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all. It's October 21st, 2024 from Texas. I don't know nothing about NASCAR, but I'll ask my NASCAR people. That's a good bet. All right, y'all. From Texas to the world, thank you and God bless.